Let's have a look at the interface of the 3D Tiny House Designer. To get started, I will have a look at the top bar, and the first thing that you will see is the menu. When I open that up, you will see a drop down, and you will find a button to view your previous designs. This one here. Then you will have a link to the Learn section, so that means if you're looking for tutorials, you will find them here. You can manage your account here, and you will find design settings. So for example, design settings will help you if you are, let's say, in a design that's designed in the metric system, but you want to change the project over to an imperial system. You can go into the unit system here, and you can choose between millimeters, centimeters, meters, inches, feet, and fractional. As a quick tip, the fractional system is inches and feet combined, so you can type in, let's say, 1 foot, 1 inch, and a quarter or something like that, so you can type that in together. I'm going to leave it at fractional for now, because we are already using an imperial design here. And then you have the preference settings here, and you will find the UI preferences and the save preferences. So let's say with the UI preferences, if you are on a small screen, this will be your friend. So let's say you have loaded the design and you think your interface is quite small. You can go in here and change the page zoom to make the software bigger. So the buttons and all of the interface will change to get bigger, so it's easier for you to see. The 3D dimensions and 2D dimensions can be changed here as well, so I'll just quickly show you what those are. So in this case here you can see the 3D dimensions popping up around an object. You can actually change the size of this to make this fit your screen size. I like keeping this myself at around 120%, just because I have a larger screen, so it's easier for me to see. And the 2D dimensions are the dimensions that pop up when you are in the 2D view, and I will get into the view in a second. So that's the preferences. The next part of the top bar here, you will see the license. So I'm currently in the business version, but if you're on a trial or in the personal version, you will see that up here. Here you will see the name of your design that you've currently loaded. And this is the save button, and this is the most important button that you will be using a lot to make sure that you don't lose your progress. So you just click the save button here, and you will see a notification pop up that your design has been saved. We also have autosave, which is automatically enabled, and it saves your design every 10 minutes, and you can actually change how often you want to save your design here. Then we have the tools, which I will go in a second as well of how these work, but you can find your tape measure and other tools to modify your design quickly in here. And here we have the export tools. So these are the tools for when you're finished with your design and you want to, let's say, create plans, you want to generate renders, so realistic images, or you can even create a takeoff, or you can convert your design to a SketchUp model. So you will find this up here, and we have a separate tutorial on each of these tools as well. On the left you have the library bar. The library bar is where you will find all of your objects and settings to modify your tiny house. So the exterior settings are, for changing your exterior. So you will find settings like the foundation or trailer settings. Then the settings to change your shell, so your exterior walls and wall thickness, and also the total height of your tiny house. The roof, which changes the look and configuration of your roof. Your exterior doors and windows, which are self-explanatory. Your deck to add an exterior area to your tiny house. Your exterior accents to add materials that only cover part of your exterior. And then you have your interior section. So when you're done planning your exterior, you can easily move on to the next part basically, and it's just grouped into different categories to keep things simple. And the interior has tools like the lofts, interior walls, the interior doors, stairs and ladders, cabinets to plan your kitchens and bathrooms and bedrooms, your furniture to place more regular furniture objects, interior accents to place, let's say, floor materials in only specific areas or add splashbacks. And then you have your technical tools like your lighting and electrical to plan your lighting and electrical, which also goes into the electrical plan later on. The plumbing to plan your plumbing and also your plumbing plan, and then room tags to be able to go into more details in your plans. So we'll cover each of these tools in a separate tutorial, but this is where you can find them. And if you don't want to have your library bar open all the time, you can actually click this little collapse button here, which will collapse it to a smaller menu. So if you actually know what all of these buttons do, you can save yourself some screen space. But when you're getting started, there's some good little hints here to tell you what's what. And then let's move on to the right side, which is our settings panel. So this settings panel is used whenever you select an object, and you will see their settings come up. So let's say I will select this oven cabinet here, and I will also show you how to move in the software and select objects properly. But just to show you how the settings work, you will see the settings pop up here on the right, and you will find particular settings for that specific object. So you will see the settings for this cabinet, and then you can also see this other panel here pop up, which is the tutorial panel. So when you actually hover over an object setting, you will see specific pictures come up that explain what that settings does, and you will see them pop up in the tutorial panel up there together with a description of how that setting works as well. So if you don't know what setting modifies what, you can look into that to give you a good reference of how that works. So that is the tutorial panel and the settings panel. Usually you can also change materials for objects by clicking into the materials object here, but I'll also go back into that in a little bit. And the last part of the interface is the view bar. So down here you will have settings that will change everything about your view. So let's say if you want to switch into 2D mode, that is down here. You can switch between different cameras, reset your camera. You can enable and disable walls. You can enable and disable lofts as well. And you can change which layers are toggled on. So you can, let's say, see cabinets, not see cabinets, see your dimensions or not see those dimensions. Your plumbing and room tags, you can enable and disable them in here as well. And the last part are the layers, which I will also cover later on in the best use cases for them. But you can toggle which objects are selectable. So let's say your walls, lofts, roofs. If you disable those, you don't accidentally select those anymore, and you can just select, let's say, your windows. But I'll cover that later as well. So that's the interface. One other thing here, you also have your copy and delete button up here when you have an object selected.